Hi everyone, and welcome to the Shrine of Anubis. If you're new here, welcome. If you've been here before, welcome back and nice to see you again. So tonight I want to make a follow-up video in regards to the previous one on whether you choose your gods and goddesses or if they are the ones who choose you. So as a follow-up to that video, I want to talk about when you actually get rejected by a god or goddess. I believe that back in the day, I would say 2011, 2012 perhaps, I wanted to work with the goddess Lilith. And the reason why was because I had an experience with a succubus. And yes, I am speaking about the female, I would say, quote unquote, demoness. It's a long story, but to put it in a nutshell, I've always questioned my sexuality ever since I was like 12 years old, almost 13th. So we're talking about 2005, 2006 maybe. So I always denied this part about myself when I was becoming a teenager because I didn't receive exactly support about it or encouragement about it or anything. For that matter, I was told that I was, or you're just confused. You need to have a boyfriend and then you'll know that you're straight. Maybe you're not. You will have to wait until you grow up and have a boyfriend or something. So I was always torn apart on whether I liked men or women more than the other, but I never knew that I didn't have to choose either one. So I stuffed this part of me for years and years, and then in 2012, when I was 19 years old, I had this experience with this succubus. So long story short, I wanted to connect with the goddess Lilith herself to explore more about this aspect of myself. Of course, Lilith didn't exactly want to connect with me, and she made it very clear by, I would say, friend zoning me, which is my term, my polite term to say that I got rejected by her. And it was very simple. She simply gave me a intuitive hint through the cards when I was trying to read them for myself. And it came through that she did not want to work with me, but Hecate did. At the time, I was confusing the energies between them, and I was thinking that perhaps it was Lilith wanting to come through. She did come through, but only with the succubus to push me into exploring this side of me that I was rejecting and denying and not acknowledging. But that was her role. That was it. In that time, it was just a one-time experience with this succubus, and that was it. So I didn't feel bad about it, although I felt in a way like, oh, well, forever alone. Because I was still beginning in the path of becoming a pagan and deprogramming from religion. This was also a time in 2012 when I was becoming religious again, coming back to Catholicism, because 2011 was a very intense year where one of my family members was suicidal. They attempted to commit suicide. I broke into the bathroom. They were hanging and I lifted them up. It was a very dramatic year, and because of that, I developed PTSD. So I wanted to have something to support me. So At the time, since my family were Catholic still, I started to fall back into religion. And so that's when Lilith came through and broke me out of it again, because I was praying the rosary twice a day. I was watching Catholic YouTube videos with, with the nuns and everything, and it was an interesting year, both 2011 and 2012. So Lilith broke me free again from the programming. Not again, it's not like she did in the beginning back in 2010. It was actually something entirely different, but she stepped forth to help me break out again from the religious programming. But that was it. So there will come a time in your life where you will be approached by an entity, a god or goddess, and they might help you with one thing or two or three, but you will eventually realize that that was it. Or the second option is that you petition them, you ask them for help, and they say no. They can be very direct about it. Maybe they won't even respond to you, because some of them can be a little bit rude, and let's face it, they don't have to answer us. So I don't really take it personally if one of them rejects me or says no to me. So getting to the point of this video, when you get rejected by a god or goddess, why it might be. So again, I'm going to talk about UPG here, unverified personal gnosis, and I want to say that it could be due to a couple of reasons. First of all, you might get rejected by such deity, god or goddess, because you are not a vibrational match to them. Not necessarily because you can't work with them, but that you do need to work on yourself, on your mindset and your emotions and yourself before approaching this god or goddess. They probably want you to be more prepared, more aligned and centered within yourself before you move on to work with them. So that is one option that could be why you're being rejected by a god or goddess. The second option that could be why you're being rejected is because your energy is aligned, you have done the work, but you're simply not a match. And this has happened to me with other gods and goddesses that I have wanted to work with. But in my experience with them, I was not a match because I wasn't one part of that path. Remember that these gods and goddesses have different focuses, are from different pantheons. So if you do not resonate with a particular path and they know it, they may not want to work with you if you are not dedicated to that path. And I guess I can speak about the Nordic pantheon here for a second, because even though I like the stories and the mythologies and the legends of the gods and the goddesses, it's not a path that I want to dedicate myself to. So they can pick up on that. So some of them may not like that. And of course, in your case, this may vary greatly. So I'm not saying that my experience will apply to you, but it's also one option as to why you might be rejected. It could be that you are not dedicated to that path of where they came from. And the option number 3 as to why you might be rejected by a deity. It could be simply because they don't want to work with you, and it's nothing personal against you. This is why I always say to not take things personally, because it's not that they have a problem with you. Remember that you are sending out an invitation. They don't have to accept it. And for some reason, this reminds me of the birthday parties and the family. And for your information, I am the cousin that never shows up. You send out the invitation, but you can't be assured that everyone will accept or particular people will accept. So don't take it personal. It's not that they don't like you or that they hate you or something, but it simply could be as simple as, well, I don't resonate with this human, or this human and I are not a match. Their energy is like, I don't know, too fluffy or too pure to do this work if you want to get into hexing or cursing, for example, with Hades or something. Yeah. And I can share a story about that because in my work, I have tried to do certain types of spells and they have not worked, or the gods have not come through. And eventually, I would find out that it was because, oh, your energy is not a match for me and the work that you want to do with me. If you want to work with me, you can do this and that. Or maybe they might say, I am not the one to work with you. You may want to find someone else. And I was trying to think of a fourth option, but I think I might have covered them in this video. And of course, there could be so many other reasons that right now I can't really think about, but these three are the ones that have been in the back of my mind when it comes to being rejected by a god or goddess. So to summarize, number one, it could be that you're not a vibrational match to them. It doesn't mean that you can't work with them, but that they want you to prepare more before working with them. Option number two, it could be that you are simply not going to be working with them in the long term. So it could be a one-time situation only where they will come through to help you, maybe once or twice or three times or so, but there will come a time when they're going to be like, this is it. I helped you with this and that. This is it. Bye-bye. So the option number two can be a little bit blunt and something that we don't really want to acknowledge when they help you, but it's only for a very brief, limited time. And number three, it can be as simple as them not wanting to work with you. Some of them will answer you and tell you, I don't want to work with you, go with somebody else. Or number two, they will simply tell you no. Or number three, they might simply ignore you. But again, to summarize, don't take it personally if you get rejected by a god or goddess, because again, you are not the problem. It simply is that the things involved in having a connection with an entity, it could be that things are not connecting. And if things are not connecting, there can't really be a stable and long-term communication and interaction with them. But again, there could be so many options out there that I could possibly not be able to cover them all in this video anyways, but I wanted to share with you tonight these three options that I've had in the back of my mind in regards to this topic as to why you might be rejected by a deity. Now, what you can do about it is you can meditate on it, ask them. If you're not getting an answer, you can ask them directly, why am I not getting an answer? Am I doing something wrong? Guide me to the correct being or person, or simply let me know if it's a yes or no. So I would suggest you to do this, to meditate if you're not getting results from them or any answers from them. meditate. You can make them another petition where you are asking them a series of questions for them to clear up for you. As far as I know, I believe that's pretty much the only thing I would suggest you to do if you're not getting an answer. It could simply be that they don't want to work with you. And instead of telling you, they have chosen to ignore you. Just as I ignore creepy men in my inbox when, when they come by and say, "Hello, beautiful." So, again, I digress. I really hope that that clears up some of your questions. And as always, if you do have any more questions, let me know down below in the comments section. What else are you curious about? Did I clear things up? Did I make you think of something else? Do you have another reason that you can share with me and the rest in the comments section as to what other reasons there could be out there as to why you could be rejected by a deity? Let me know down below in the comments section. I am always open to feedback and to having a conversation and interacting with you guys in regards to the things that I speak about and share in this channel. So before I let you go, of course, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, click on the bell button, and click on see all so that you get all the notifications of any future uploads that I'll be making on this channel. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.